Welcome back to the Ben and Wrench YouTube channel. So we got a fun one in store for you guys today. We are bringing back the junkyard resurrected F150. A few episodes back, we put a front clip on. It was swatted pretty hard to front. This unit here, got her all squared back up, looking fresh. It's for my boy getting his driver's license here soon. So we told you at one point we were going to do something special. Well, it is that time. Now, since the last time you guys seen it, we did find some minty fresh takeoffs. Our buddy's honey hole there that, that we took you guys for a tour not that long ago. He had an extra set of wheels laying around for us. So we are getting on to that. So we got a fun project though. We had this thing up in the air when we did all that stuff, and everything is bad in the front suspension. It's only got like 150,000 miles on it, but the ball joints, the tire head ends, everything. So you know what? You might as well lower it, right? Right? I think it's the right choice. Two-wheel drive truck. So we ended up getting us some 2-inch drop spindles, and we got some drop shackles. So, and the rest of the stuff we need to do. So we figured, yeah, you know what? I mean, we got to pull the ball joints loose. You might as well pull the knuckles off. We'll grease the wheel bearings and all that boring stuff too. But at least it'll be fresh for him when he drives it, right? So we're gonna get you guys started with that, get her up in the air. We'll probably start on the easy part first, but I don't wanna jinx myself because them shackle bolts sometimes can be a pain in the ass. So hopefully the southern truck part helps us out. We got, what are they like, 14 millimeter bolts or something like that. We got to pull them out of the rear springs. Hopefully they don't get stuck. Pop our new shackles in. Probably put shocks on it, but we'll see how that goes when we get it in the air. I didn't really look at them or assess them the last time, so let's get her sky high, take a look at her, and hopefully it goes smooth. Let's get to it. All right, guys, we got her up in the air. Kind of wanted to show you what we were looking at for shackles. So basically what we're doing is we are extending it here. So we are giving it, basically we're lengthening the shackle, which is in turn lowering the truck. Hopefully the stock shocks can take it for now, and then we'll put some on later or whatever, just to kind of get the look and get it set down and back together. Then we get to the alignment shop and stuff. But we're gonna basically need to pull this fastener out here. Hopefully that'll give us enough swing to get to this one up here so we can get the bolt out. Because if not, we gotta cut the bolt off. So what you do basically is you cut the head off, we just pop the bolt out the front. Not that big of a deal, but sometimes kind of a pain in the butt, like we said earlier, just because they tend to rust into the bushings. But yeah, so we gotta basically remove this one, change the shackles. That'll wrap up the rear. So we're gonna get slamming on this side here, get her apart. Let's take you guys along for that journey. And hopefully they come out, so let's find out. All right, guys, biggest thing, make sure you spray your fasteners down. Get them things all ready to come apart. Hopefully, like we said, it don't take much. But we did get the transmission jack out and got that with a little bit of support. Basically, with those shackles removed, the rear axle can drop down, which really we're trying to take it up. So pull these bolts, push her up. Let's get to it. Well, that's a good sign, guys. This bolt came right out. That's what we're worried about in that leaf spring on this side. Worst case scenario, this one really doesn't matter because we can always cut it off since the bushing's in the shackle. So, but that is a good sign. So we're gonna get that bolt out the rest of the way, do the other side real quick, and then show you taking this axle up. All right, we got the other side out. We're just trying to get this lower bolt out. It is spinning, so it should. That's what we were hoping for. We just need that thing to spin out of there so we get the shackle off. All right, guys, trick I learned back in the day, just something to help you hold the bolt out. Just to try to help. Because if not, you'll screw it back in. But, I really, I kind of envy them guys from the south. You guys down there without the rust, man, that is, that don't happen much in Michigan, boys. I'll tell you that. I mean, that's not too shabby. All 4 bolts actually came loose. I mean, that's a win in my book. So we're gonna go ahead and jack this thing up here in just a hot second. Show you that. Let's just pry these out a little bit. There we go. Get the other side real fast. All right, you can see them are out. We just got to get it high enough to get these bolts out is the biggest problem. So just got to compress our shocks. Like we talked about, get it up in the air. Oh, we're not there yet. Almost there, almost there. That's how you get her out, my friends. Get that new one set in there, show you how that goes back together. All right, so these ones here, if you guys have messed with urethane before, super squeaky. So what's nice about these ones here, they are greasable. Trust me, you'll want to grease them because these things are noisy. And also, if you notice, I got 2 holes. So it's a 1-inch drop or a 2-inch drop. Normally you go like a 2-3, so it levels the truck, but we're still going to use it in the truck, so we don't want it to sag in the rear. So this way here, it'll still ride like it did before, just a little bit lower. We're trying to, you know, the Lightnings were one of those trucks that were kind of already lower from the factory, so kind of going for that look aesthetically. Obviously, we don't have the sweet ground effects or any of that stuff to go along with it, but this also is one of them bolts up top here that you don't want to tighten until you're down. The urethane bushing isn't under like a tensioned load because it slips, where the rubber is fixed to the inner sleeve. So, but yeah, that went in pretty sweet there. Get our other bolt on the bottom. Well, that's that. So we're gonna get the top ones tight when it's on the ground. We'll grease them when we do the front suspension. Wanted to show you guys that quick trick real fast. Like I said, them go together super nice. So if you guys ever want to get into it yourself, only 4 bolts. If they come out, that's usually the problem. So let's get this thing switched over to the front and bring you guys along for that. So hopefully it gives us the right look. They're kind of tall tires, but I think it'll be just fine. I think it'll be just fine, right? What the hell? You know, if not, they might rub a little when you turn. Just don't turn all the way. All right, guys, we got her up in the air. After further investigation, we didn't need everything, but it damn near seemed like it. So lower ball joints are smoked, and our uppers, you can see the boots are torn there as well. And the sway bar bushings, or the end link bushings are not in the best of shape either. So we're gonna change those. The tie rod ends actually are not bad. So you know what? I mean, they're OEM 4. They're probably better than the aftermarket stuff anyways. So we do have to get front brake rotors and seals and all that good stuff. The rotors are smoked. So new spindles, do we really want to put them on it? So we got that call in. So hopefully we get some rotors here in a few. At least get that portion of it back together and make sure you're stopping good too. So we're gonna get it tore down, bring you guys along with that. Hopefully we don't run any more problems. Maybe we can reuse the bearings and stuff. You know, keep it on the budget side, right? It's his first truck. It's gonna be okay. All right, let's get to it. All right, wheel end is off. So what I like to do is pull the tie rod in first. Just gives us some adjustability when it goes pulling the brakes. So we got that. Couple brake caliper bracket bolts. We're probably gonna leave, I don't know, we'll see if we can reuse the bearings. We'll pull all this stuff apart too, just in case. We may get new bearings, so it may not be necessary, but Now I guess we gotta get to the backing plate, right? We gotta take that off, transfer it over. Gotta get our upper control arm bolts, and we're just gonna pull this whole assembly off, get the lower knocked in. So let's get to it. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and just save the trouble, pull this rotor off. It'll save us some weight, and also we gotta get to that backing plate anyways, so at least this way, it'll shed 30 pounds, right? Let's get the old channel locks, give her a bend. You always want to replace these things too. I mean, it's kind of normal protocol, but you don't want to reuse them. I mean, I've seen guys use nails, and, you know, you've been on the side of the road mid-stranded. You know, that shit happens. But with this here, if you got them, just change them. But as for the bearings and stuff, we're going to assess all that when we get in there. So there's a little, like a, oh geez, if I didn't drop the damn thing. Kind of like a little spider washer deal there. Goes over so the cotter pin can lock the nut from backing off. Because these things here, you don't really actually, you snug them down and you back them off a little bit. You want to set a little preload. So everybody does that differently, I tell you. I like to kind of crank them down, back them off, drop a pin through it. Some guys I've seen just finger tighten them. Probably not the way, the best, you know, best way to set the bearings, but that's just what they do. Yeah, see, this we were needing right here. So looks like we got 3/8. That'll be off. Then we can continue taking the rest of this stuff apart. At this point here, guys, might as well just transfer it right over, right? Then you ain't got to piss with it. Snug all those down. And you're not handling it twice. So we're ready to get this other spindle pulled off, so. Well, gosh dang, that thing about took me out. Well, yeah, we're down to her, but yeah, you see this, she's pretty toast just when the boot's gone. I mean, it's a little, maybe I'll hear it. So we're gonna knock this dude out real quick, get the upper unbolted, get it back together. Let's go. All right, guys, we're gonna fit the new one in here. We got a shiny new control arm I showed you earlier. We left the alignment spacers there, kind of. Hopefully, it keeps it close for our alignment guy. It's a good buddy of mine doing it. And he's like, dude, mark it, please. So it just saves them from setting the machine up 3-4 times. But let's get her put in here. A little tappy tappy. So you can kind of see the washers we're battling with there. Them are meant to kind of keep it in factory spec on the assembly line. This thing was wrecked, so he may have just tossed them anyways, but whatever. We'll put them back in there just like you said. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull the sway bar link. Like we said earlier, it's just got rotten bushings. Put the new ball joint in. So it sounds like we're gonna hold off on the brakes for now. We're gonna just slam what we have back on, get her back together, get it out of the garage. We're gonna order some brakes. Sounds like we're a couple days out. So we don't wanna hold up and wait up the, and kind of tie up the hoist for that. So get it back together, get the look we want, that's what's important. And then we'll worry about them brakes in a day or two. We'll get them squared away. So at least this way we can button it up, get it to the alignment shop, get all that stuff wrapped up. We do have a scheduled appointment for that. So let's get the ball joint in, get this done, show you guys what we're doing here. right, guys, I want to give you a little example of how these drop spindles work. If you look at the center line, you know, right here, pretty straightforward, but you can really get the perspective how much we're actually lowering. So by moving the spindle up, we're actually lowering the tire down. So kind of a cheating way to get a lowering kit, but what's nice about that is it rides the same shocks, same tie rod ends, all that stuff is stock, so makes it super cool that way. We got the ball joints and all that stuff in, like you just seen. Sway bar links on, so we're going to put the spindle in. Again, just slam our old brakes and stuff back on us. We at the alignment shop, we'll deal with that another day. But at least that way we get this truck back together and get her on the ground and see what she looks like. That's what the reward is. All right, guys, we're gonna get this bad boy put on. Pretty straightforward. Same way you took it off. It just, like I said, it adjusts a little bit. Just gotta make sure we put our speed sensor back in. And I did tighten this upper control arm in like a preloaded state. Kind of guesstimating ride height, but I mean, that'll get me close. Once I go see the alignment shop, he's gonna screw with that anyway, so should be pretty straightforward from there. Get the rest of this stuff buttoned back on, get this wheel end done, huh? You never want to snug them down with an impact, at least a tapered one anyways. You can just bump them up to it, you know, and then make sure you go back, check it with a wrench, and run your cotter pin in. So hopefully we got a big enough bar here for leverage. If not, we got a larger one somewhere else. We just gotta go get it. Definitely gonna need a bigger bar. Let's grab that. Gotta be careful with this stuff, guys. It's like a freaking ticking time bomb, spring loaded, you know. That's good for now. We just gotta tighten them up. Drop our greasy old tie rod end back in there. Like I said, that one turn was not in bad shape, so we're gonna run with it. We got a different taper on here. So, I don't know yet. We may have to flip the tie rod end over and run it upward. I mean, it would make sense. But yeah, it's definitely not going in this way anyways. Hopefully it's not drilled wrong, because that would really shaft us. So I'm gonna crack that tie rod end loose, see if that is what our problem is, and then continue on. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and see if we can give this thing a turn here. Biggest thing is we just gotta get it to basically turn upward, I guess. I'm thinking it's gotta be, oh, let's see. There we go. So we already got our ball joints all tight and stuff. Man, that just doesn't make any, wow, that's a messy, look at that son of a gun. Geez, guys, it's got to be the right way. I mean, the taper, it's the only way it makes sense. I'm going to slam this brake rotor on here, and we'll do this dude last, like we talked about. It just gets it out of the way, and we can still turn our wheel to get to everything. So, again, we're just going to put our original stuff back on. We did get a little grease on here. It's nice just to rub a little bit on there. I'll put a little more on. There's already plenty in there. Plus, we're going to go through it and grease them and polish everything up with new rotors and bearings at a later date. So, let's get that hub on there real fast. Get some of this nasty-ass grease off, you know. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we are at a standstill until tomorrow. So, our premium aftermarket spindles here, the nut is different. It doesn't fit. Also, washer had flat spots. We need one with a tang for this style, so we're jammed up. So I guess they're gonna rethink the brake pads and rotors, and we're gonna see if we can source some, hopefully maybe find something tomorrow. We'll just have to reschedule our alignment, but it is what it is. So that's the right the first time, right? That's the right way. So we're gonna take the passenger side, knuckle in to the parts store and see if we can find a washer with a tang and then the right nut. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, guys, change of plans altogether now. So we found some new rotors. We did get that done. We ran into a problem off camera. Kind of figured something out. So you guys should have read his directions. I didn't do that. You know, I'm one of those stubborn ass guys, you know, like the rest of us, how they don't read directions. So the wheels that we got for the truck are 16s, right? I've put drop spindles on S10s. You can still run 15s. It don't even matter. But on these, by moving our spindle location, pin, whatever the hell you want to call it, your spindle location, really, our 16-inch wheels won't fit. The way it's, you know, offsets it by doing, you know, changing this area, the ball joint would be down to here roughly, and it hits the wheel. So we switched gears. We put the stock spindles back on. I'm really hoping the 2-inch lowering shackles level it and it ain't squatted, because we don't roll like that. Worst case, I can always adjust them in the rear. Now we're gonna hold on to them. Honestly, some lightning wheels would be cool, which are 18s. We did learn that. Currently though, we're gonna get her buttoned up with what we got. So we did go ahead and throw one of the rotors on. We're gonna go through packing the bearings and all that good stuff. I'm sure you guys know how to do that anyways. We'll show you that real quick. Get the driver's side back together, get the wheels on this thing, and get it the hell out of here. So let's get to her. All right, guys, fun stuff here. I'm sure you've done this in the past, but old school stuff if you haven't. So, got our bearings all cleaned up, ready to go. I do it old school. You know, there is packing devices and whatnot. Got the old Wolf's Head Premium, old school for you old school guys there. Just put a gob on your hand. Everybody's got their own technique, right? So just put a big gob on there and just start dragging it through. Kind of just essentially drag it on your hand, and you'll start to see it come through the rollers. You can kind of see it looks like a bunch of little worms coming through. Essentially, you want to do that until you get them all through, kind of how it's coming through like that. Do that all the way around. And once your bearing's thoroughly packed, it's good to go. I mean, there's guys that'll pack the damn rotor full of grease. It's unnecessary because the grease ain't moving around. You know, it may get warm and whatnot, but we're not going to give you a lecture on how to grease bearings. I just wanted to show you real quick if you did not know. So we'll go ahead and get this buttoned up, get it set in the rotor, pound the seal in the back, and get her put on. So essentially, in short term, that's what you end up with. Like I said, you'll see it where it comes around the rollers. I like to roll them around a little bit and then kind of hit it again just to make sure. But looks good to me. All right, so drop the bearing in. Like I said, I put just a Scotia grease inside the rotor. Find yourself something nice like this, you know, random piece I found that I use on my shop press. Set her on there and just beat her in with a hammer. I mean, that's really all you need to do. You know, you know it's in when the tone changes, right? So we're gonna do that. Flip her. Take a little skosh. Ain't got no gloves on this time. Get all nasty here. Smear a little bit in there. Again, you don't need to pack these things full. Completely unnecessary. So I got a little on there. I went ahead and packed that outer bearing. I'm sure you didn't want to watch that. Drop her in. Now we're ready to put on. All right, go ahead and slam her on. And then you want to take your washer. Now, not all of them have a washer. Some just have a different style nut. Get your washer. We had to get a new flat spot one there. Tried modifying the other one a little bit last night, but so we got a new one. Put your nut on there. The biggest thing is setting that preload. Again, there's honestly, I think there's a torque spec and then you back it off or what, I don't know. But old guy showed me kind of just twist her, tighten her up a little bit. And again, this is just how I do it. Maybe wrong or right. And then back her off a little bit. And your bearings are set. You basically seat the rollers by cranking it tight and rolling it around, and you back her off a little bit. Go ahead, put your cage on it. You gotta line that dude up, of course. Just kind of turn around until the cotter pin lines up. And again, everybody has their way of doing a cotter pin. I do the old turn them to the side trick, so. Give them a bend. Beat your dust cap on and you're done. So we'll save the trouble of doing the brakes. Gonna get that all back together and get her set down. Well guys, we got her all buttoned up. Figured give it a little redemption on our last burnout when we put this truck back together. Plus we gotta burn up these tires anyways, right? So the only way we're gonna get the 18s, maybe them lightning wheels, get them drop spindles on. So let's see what she'll do. Well guys, say it laid out pretty nice, I think, huh? Starting to think with the old drop shackles might have just done the trick. Maybe we'll leave them spindles off. I don't know. Setting pretty level, looking good. Well, thanks for hanging with us, guys. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in.